What is going on, Washington football team fans? Another video coming at you from the Washington Football Report. It's JD. Let's dive into it. I'm going to tell you some. I haven't posted in a while for a couple reasons. One, I got bronchitis and pneumonia at the same time. Was not fun. Was not great. Two, holiday season for two reasons. One, I do work in retail, so holiday seasons are very busy from pretty much November 15th on till about now. It's starting to die down a little bit. And also, it's my first year for my daughter to have Christmas and the holidays, so I made sure I committed a lot of time to that. So I'm not posting in a while. I plan to rectify that and make time in the future. Also, the way my schedule works is sometimes I have off on Wednesday, sometimes I have off on Saturday. If I have off Saturday, it's family time. If it's Wednesday, I'll pretty much just relax, and usually I'll make a video, but I also have another YouTube channel where I do video gaming. So I usually post on there because I can kind of have fun with it and post. It's weird, but I will commit to getting more stuff out for this channel. Just right now, it's very difficult because the holidays, but it's coming to a conclusion, and the new year starts, so I can actually have time to do this. So if you expect content from me in the future, I will be committing more time to doing that and having a more complete schedule to making content. It also doesn't help that where I live right now, to make content, I have a bedroom that has my computer in it. And before, when I made content all the time, I could go into another room and do it and let my wife sleep, let my daughter sleep. I can't do that right now. The way my apartment's laid out, me and my wife are getting a house in June or May or June. So that's going to change, and I'll have like an entire basement to do all this stuff, so I can go to a secluded area so I don't wake them. But there's a lot of factors that have resulted in me not being able to like post recently. But I'm going to post today because yesterday they announced that the Washington football team will have a new name by February 2nd, 2022. Okay? And I'm going to be bluntly honest, I'm not expecting anything good out of this. They've made a point. This is just the curse of being a Washington football team fan, a Washington Redskin fan. Since that dumbass Dan Snyder has taken over this team, he's just ruined everything. If the team was successful, I mean, like, look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't changing their name. Why? Because they're successful. They're winning. Okay, if they start losing, watch that name change quick. Okay, but because our team sucks, we lose our name. Okay, and that's the main reason. The people who are investing money in the team, that put their name on the field, FedEx and so on and so forth, are losing money. And so they're like, you know what, we're losing money, and your team name is considered by some, not by myself, but by some, to be offensive. Yeah, you're going to change that name because we think that might be a contributing factor to that, other than the fact that your team can't win either. So, you know, if Dan Snyder would have been better, we might still have our team name. Okay, on top of that, he can't get anything right. Okay, we have new leadership, new head coach, who's actually a good head coach, a better head coach, new general manager, which is supposed to be better, and these idiots can't get it right either. These idiots can't get it right. They screw up the Sean Taylor bullshit. They screw up other things. Like, seriously, why can't we do? It's the same shit, different day when it comes to Washington. And being a Washington fan's harder than other teams. And I'll tell you why. Because there are people alive nowadays. And I mean, like, I still remember this. I was like 4 years old when I went to the last Super Bowl we were in. Okay, I'm 34 years old. I'm not that old. I was like 4 years old when I went. Okay? I vaguely remember it. Vaguely. There's pictures of me there, but I vaguely remember going. Okay? Other fans don't have that. Cleveland, there might be like 5, but there might be fans. There's not fans alive that remember when the Cleveland Browns were champions. Same with Detroit Lions. Jacksonville, never been champions. So Washington has the curse that we remember when we were good. We remember the Joe Gibbs era. We remember the Jack King Cook ownership when the franchise was good. Okay, that's the difference between us and like other teams that are bad. Other teams that are bad been bad forever. Like Jets been bad forever. Like I said, Detroit been bad forever. Okay, and we actually had a period of time. We actually have voted the greatest team of all time was Washington's 92 championship. Because they should have been undefeated that year. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not getting into that. And this is where, like, disappointment, I guess we just got to accept it. Because Washington fans, and I can speak from myself and my experience on Twitter, and if you have different experience, it's fine, but I'm telling you what I've seen, and I'm on a lot of Twitter polls. I'm on a lot of Twitter, like the Washington football team podcasters and YouTubers and things like that. We have a pretty good community of people that discuss things amongst us, Twitter and also on our channels. And I can tell you straight up, if they were to go off, if this was like a vote and you had to go off the vote, the Washington football team would be the Washington Red Wolves by a landslide. If this was an election, it would be a landslide. Because, like, if you look at the polls, if you have, like, even when they had, like, 6 or 7 options, Red Wolves was, like, half the votes, and everyone else shared the rest. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close to any other team. But Washington, football team organization, they said they're going to get it right. They're going to listen to the fans. Apparently, they didn't listen to the fans. If the fans are voting overwhelmingly by a significant margin that they want the Washington Red Wolves to be their team name, and they're ignoring the fans and going with this military shit that the coach wants, then they're not listening to the fans. The fans clearly don't want the Washington Commanders. The fans clearly don't want the Washington Admirals. Okay, that's not something the fans want. The fans clearly want, I'm just tapping this so it doesn't time out. The fans clearly want the Washington Red Wolves or Washington Wolf Pack or something of that nature. Okay? They want something like that. And we're not getting that. And it just proves to me that, again, as a Washington fan, you got to be just, with the Dan Snyder era, you just got to be down for disappointment. The reasoning that I've heard that they can't do the Washington Red Wolves is because the Minnesota Timberwolves have licensing agreement. That's bullshit, first off. Okay, they don't. They don't own the rights to anything that has to do with timber or wolf. They don't. They might have a patent. They might have, like, rights to, like, Minnesota. They don't. Okay, and even if they did, you can cut a big old check, Dan Snyder. You're a fucking billionaire, dude. You can cut a big old check to get that, to get the fans what they want. But you're not going to do that. You're going to go the cheapest route possible. You're going to try to sell as many tickets as possible. Like I said, you're stupid. You're a stupid businessman. I've said this before. I've said on Twitter, like, all year. Why would you not launch your name, the Washington, whatever your team name is, launch it around, like, the 15th of November? That way you can sell a bunch of merchandise and jerseys and anything you want all the way up through the holidays. Because I'll tell you what, I told my family, don't give me anything else. I wanted the Washington hat. I didn't have a Washington hat other than the Crucial Catch hat. I told my family, don't give me any Washington stuff until the new name comes out. So the whole holiday, I got nothing Washington other than, like, a hat or two. I got a black hat, and I got a red hat, and a white hat. So they screwed up. I think a lot of people were like that. I wasn't going to get anything Washington until they have a new name. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were like me. And if they'd have been smart, they'd have launched the team name right in the middle of November, right before Black Friday, so people can order a bunch of it. But they're not smart. They're stupid. They're waiting till February, where people aren't going to buy shirts and jerseys and things like that. And also, I'm so frustrated with this. Because they made a point. Here's how, like, obnoxiously arrogant the franchise is. Not only did they announce that they're going to have a new team name on the 2nd of February this year, they also made a point to say, and it won't be Red Wolves. Like, why? Why would you mention it like that? So that you can, like, just smack us in the face, say it won't be what you want. So deal with it. It just frustrates me the way our franchise is. They claim that they're trying to turn over a new leaf and it's about the fans. It's not about the fans. If it was about the fans, they'd have gone, through every step possible to get the team name. Well, first off, we'd have never lost the team name because the team would have been managed properly without sexual harassment allegations and our medical guy getting busted by the FDA or DEA or whatever it is. Like, we would have been better run so those things never happen and, like, stay in our franchise. And we would have never had to change the name because it's not associated with all this bullshit. So, all those things are happening. They're happening right now, and there's nothing that we can do about it because it's horribly ran, we have to change our name. And hopefully, just like I work for a company that had a name, and they changed the name. And if you know who I am, you know where I work, you'll understand that. Because it is associated with really bad customer service. And they changed the name. And people still call it the old name, but it's actually under a new name now. I'm not getting into that. But it's all it is. It's branding. And again, they made a point to tell us that what the fans really wanted, which is like overwhelming what the fans want, you're not going to get. They said that they were listening to the fans and get the fans what they wanted. They didn't. Like I said, I've looked at probably hundreds of polls, maybe thousands of polls. And every single poll I've ever seen, you have an overwhelming majority of people. Like you get a poll of like 3 things, and 70% will be Red Wolves. I don't know what the hell that they're doing to try to pick a team name, but I think they blatantly ignored this. I think they blatantly ignored it because, like, the front office didn't want it, or somebody didn't want it. So they're like, screw that. We don't want to do that. We want to do something else. And I have a feeling Ron had something to do with that. As much as I like Ron, I think he had, because he wanted it to be military based, which you could have made it the Red Wolf Squadron logo for like it's an elite helicopter crew in the Navy SEALs. But it just irritates me that they went out of their way to be like, oh, and it's not going to be the Red Wolves. Like, this is slap us in the face. Like, hey, this is what you wanted, but piss on you. We didn't get you what you wanted. We're getting you something you didn't want, and you're going to be happy about it. And I hope the uniforms are at least cool. And I just listened to the Washington Football Talk podcast with J.B. Finley, Mitch Titchler, and Pete Haley. And they've heard that the jerseys are pretty cool. They're very clean cut. So that's a thing. So hopefully the jersey's at least nice. But I'm just not confident at all that unless they're like pulling a fast one on us and like, we're not going to be Red Wolves, and they gotcha, it's Red Wolves. We just had to fake you out or whatever. But all the things I'm seeing are pointing to it's going to be the Commanders, which is the lamest fucking name ever. I mean, how did you have an issue getting the trademark for the Commanders? Like, here's my question. If you had an issue getting a trademark for Red Wolves, which there's a college team called the Red Wolves, the Arkansas State Red Wolves or something like that. So you had an issue getting that apparently. But the Commanders was the name of a team in the AAF. And those patents last for a couple years, trademarks last for a couple years. How'd you get the rights to that? So we just took a C-grade football league and took one of their team names, and now we're making that like a brand. Oh man, it's frustrating. Sorry, it's frustrating being a Washington fan. If you're a frustrated Washington fan, hit the like button, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of all this BS. Because I know, and a lot of my followers have agreed with me, Red Wolves is the best pick. There might have been other picks that you might have liked, but when they narrowed it down to like the top 8 or whatever, and Warriors wasn't on it, and it was like Red Wolves, Commanders, and like Admirals, Armada, something like that, everyone overwhelmingly was like, yeah, Red Wolves is where it's at, bro. Let's do that. And it's not. It's not what we're going to do. Off the topic of that, Washington, offseason's about to start. I kind of hope we lose to the Giants. I want to beat the Giants, but I also want to lose the Giants because I want a better draft pick. I want to get a quarterback. Okay? Nothing would be better to start off our new franchise name than with a quarterback that could be literally will be drafted as and be the greatest quarterback in our franchise's history because it's a new franchise, technically. It's a new name. Yeah, that's the route. I think Washington needs to do a couple things this offseason. They need to fire their offensive coordinator. I hate Scott Turner. God, do I hate him. He has one decent possession every game. One decent one. And I can point to every one of them in every game. Eagles game we just played, it was the first drive. After that, he got away from the run. He wasn't balanced enough. He calls the dumbest plays in the second half. Like I honestly think he's trying to lose. maybe if that's the case, then great, because then we lost, and if we lose one more game, we're in a decent spot to get a good draft pick. Like right now, I think we're 9th or 8th. If we can get as low as 6th, that'd be awesome, because we need a quarterback. I love Taylor Heineke. I hope he's a franchise. Hope he's a lifer here. I hope he spends the rest of his career here as our solid, always available, great guy backup that we can know and love, and say when he goes on the field, an injury, we feel okay about like him coming into the field to finish a game. We'll have to play one game or something. Sorry, I'm getting nasally because my nose is like weirdly clogged, and it's not clogged because I can breathe fine. It's just it just switched over to that in the middle of a sentence. It's stupid. So he's not where it's at. I'm sorry. I love him, but it's not a franchise quarterback. Okay, and that's okay. Not everyone's going to be a franchise quarterback, and you know he does what he does, and he does it well. And I also think the offensive coordinator does not use his skill set properly. So that's just my personal opinion. He does not roll him out enough. He doesn't let him scramble enough. He doesn't RPO enough. Well, you can run a lot of option things that they don't run and keep teams unbalanced. They just don't do that. The way the Eagles run their offense is the way Washington should run their offense, but they don't do it. Okay? They don't do that for some reason. And Scott Turner, to me, I think he's trying to make it look like he's super smart and he's trying to go for like a head coaching job somewhere. That's my personal opinion. I think he's just trying to, instead of trying to win the game and, you know, move the ball, I think he's trying to be cute and smart, and people like ooh and ah at his plays, like, oh, he could be a good head coach somewhere. And I don't think he will, but I think that's what he's trying to do. His dad was the offensive coordinator for Dallas when they were dominant. And that's how his dad got a job, as their team was dominant, and they were one of the most dominant offenses in the history of the NFL, running the ball, had a solid quarterback and good receivers. They also had an all-pro, I think all 5 of them were Hall of Famers. But he won games, and he was dominant. They dominated games because of his dad, because of Norv Turner's play calling. That's why Washington hired him. Okay, now he's not a good overall head coach, but he was a fantastic play caller, and he deserved an opportunity to be a head coach. And that's what's going to come of that. Now, I personally think like Scott Turner just tries to be cute. So we need to get rid of Scott Turner, in my opinion. I think he's horrible. I think he's god-awful. He does not call good plays. I think he tries to be too cute and try to show off and like, oh, look how creative I am. But it never works out. It never, ever works out. And he should be creative in other ways where he maximizes Taylor Heineke. Instead, he always boxes him in. He makes it, he basically handcuffs him, in my opinion. He makes it very simple, basic. And that's the first thing, get rid of him, get a good offensive coordinator, a good young one that, you know, we should have maybe kept Kevin, what's his name? That was here before Ron got here. That wouldn't have been a bad option. So, and then we also got to get a quarterback. We have to get a quarterback this offseason, whether that's, I would prefer to draft one, honestly. If we get like the 6th overall pick, and that one in front of us already has a quarterback, and, you know, we need to draft one, and hopefully the right one falls to us. Awesome. If not, is what it is. If we have to trade for one, that's the worst case scenario to me. Actually, worst case scenario is signing a free agent, because there's going to be no good free agents available. Like, I think the best quarterback free agent is like Jameis Winston or something like that. And I don't want him on our team at all. I mean, he'll throw it deep. That's good. He's got an arm, but he's too sporadic. He throws interceptions. He's not consistent with the ball at all. Like, he's going to be the best quote unquote option, and I don't think he's a good option at all. So, I wouldn't mind trading for Deshaun Watson. The problem is you have to sacrifice your entire future to get him, but you at least will have him for 10 years. That's the other thing about like signing a free agent. Most free agents are like super young, unless you want to go like a risk route like Sam Darnold or something, and just have one more year, and then maybe next year that's when you go for broke and like trade up for a quarterback or in the draft or whatever. Maybe that's when you do it. But in my opinion, this year is the year we should just trade up, do what we can, get up to like a number 1 or number 2 spot. Matt Carroll is my pick. Samuel Howell isn't bad. I think the kid from Liberty is a bust waiting to happen. I told people that Trey Lance was not going to be a good quarterback. And people are going to comment on this. I'm going to make sure this doesn't time out because I'm going to rant. People are going to comment on this. Trey Lance was the third overall pick in this NFL draft. You take a quarterback that freaking early, he has to play. Okay? It had nothing. You don't draft someone that early, let him develop. Hell, Mac Jones was drafted at 16. He was drafted by the Patriots at 16. He started every game this year. Well, I mean, he might start next week too. He started 16 games this year. So he's more prepared than Trey Lance, who was drafted number 3. And I straight up told people that he's not NFL ready. And when they put him in, guess what? He wasn't NFL ready. He should have been a first-round pick. I told people that. They did not believe me. He looked like he was a deer in headlights when he was out there. The only thing he looked good at was running the ball. That's the only thing he looked good at. Because he's athletic, and I'll give him that. He's an athlete. That's because in college he only had passed over 200 yards 3 times, and people didn't believe me. Dude, this guy, if you can't pass over 200 yards against low-tier Division II talent, what the fuck makes you think you're gonna be able to do it against top-tier NFL players? It doesn't make sense. And people are like, "Ooh, it doesn't matter." It does matter. Speed matters. When you're the fastest guy in the field all the time, you're gonna have a good running game. But when you're a quarterback who's supposed to throw the ball 100, this is why Carson Wentz went high. Carson Wentz was in the same division as him, but Carson Wentz threw for 300 and 400 passing yards a game. That's why he went so high, being at a crappy Division II school. Sorry, I'm going to come off my soapbox here. The guy from Liberty is a joke. Okay, we drafted a receiver from Liberty. He's not even on our team after 2 years. Okay, is a joke. That people think he's going to be a first-round pick. You're joking me. You are kidding me. That guy is not going to be first. If he's drafted first round, he will be a bust. I will put money on that. You have to go for three quarterbacks I wouldn't mind drafting. Okay? First quarterback I would not mind drafting is Matt Carroll. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. Okay? At least he's the most NFL ready. I'll say that. He's got the most NFL arm. He's got power. He can throw the ball. Okay? And he's athletic, and he's got kind of a Josh Allen feel to him, to me. Okay? Second option, I go with Samuel Howell. Okay? Now, he didn't play as great a competition as Matt Carroll, but Samuel Howell is not a bad option. Spencer Rattler, fuck that guy, don't get him. Okay, I wouldn't draft him at all. I think he's going to draft. He's horrible. Okay? The other one I wouldn't get him first round. I wait till late second, early third, would be Spencer, Ritter, Desmond Ritter. That's who I would get. Those are the 3 quarterbacks. There might be some other ones out there that might be pretty decent, but those are the ones I would get. I would get Spencer Ritter, round late second, early third. So those are the 3 quarterbacks that I'm interested in. I haven't really looked into other ones heavily. I'm sure there's another one out there that'll shine and get some notoriety, but the one I want is that one. Okay, so we have other things we need, but I've ran it for 23 minutes, so I need to get off here. I want to thank everyone for listening. If you got the list this far, please hit that like button, comment down below. What do you think the team name is going to be? Are you happy if it's going to be the Commanders, or are you sad it's not going to be Red Wolves? Let me know. Hail to the Redskins. See you.